really not what you'd expect coming out to the outback. It's actually quite green, there's trees everywhere. We made it to COOBER PEDY,
the opal capital of the world. This town has a secret.
and the secret is that more than half the town lives underground because it's so bloody hot here. I think it's one of the hottest towns in Australia. It gets over 50 degrees in summer, so you can see all the air vents and stuff.
That is how you know.
We're probably walking over the top of someone's kitchen.
Under us. It's crazy. Look at that. Everywhere.
One thing when you come to COOBER PEDY that you've got to do is noodling for opals. So you'll later go up to the spoil and dig through to see if you can find anything. Alright, let's see what we got. We're rich! We're rich! Today we're going in Tom's opal mine. Got my own shovel. We're going to get some opals.
We're going to find our own opals.
Hello.
I'm going to find my own.
It goes up, that's a shaft. I own a drill that drills that size hole. And I've had it for 32 years. Or 31, I think. Anyhow, it's a long time. Now what we do when we drill a shaft, we are looking for certain things. First of all, if we drill opal, that's the best thing that could happen. But if you don't drill opal, there's other things that we look for. And one of those is right here. See this line in the wall? It goes across the roof there, and it's in the wall there. That's a fault, and we call them slides. And what's happened, the slides move, and when a slide moves, it creates cracks. And when it creates cracks, that's what opal filled up. Okay, that's colour. That's the opal under a microscope. That's potch and colour. You can see the two different diagrams under the microscope. See how they're round balls? That's just grains of sand. Notice that this one's all in straight lines, it's uniform. That means that that opal had time to settle properly because all those spheres just settled. And what happens then is when the light comes in, the colours get reflected out down through the sandstone. The spheres, the red ones are bigger and they can't get through that sandstone. So therefore you get a lot of blue-green or green-orange in your claim. Every now and then you get a claim that produces nothing but red opal. And that's because the sandstone is probably more porous. That's the first level, okay? The main levels, when I say they can be anywhere, that's in the middle of nowhere and there's some shells. Now that's a full shell that's been cut in half with the tunnel machine. That's a skin shell, skin shell, skin shell. That one there's a cable clip. Now with the full shell, millions of years ago when that shell died and it settled in the mud, it was fully closed. That didn't allow the dirt to go inside of it, so therefore that shell, when it finally opalised, it filled completely up with opal. Sharp, it'll cut 6 inches and it'll cut as quick as this. You can't cut as quick as that because the machine can't keep up the suction of the dirt. The machines could actually do probably 300 or 400 feet a day underground if they had that extraction. Now if we wanted to hook up to that tunnel machine, there's pipes in that wall there. If everyone gives me $10,000, I'll hook it up and we'll go for the day. I'll be going on holidays after the day's finished. You guys will be going home broke. Now this blower's 40 years old. It's a 160 horsepower Gardner motor. It was made for hand mining, but it is good enough to run that tunnel machine. It'll cut about 15 metres a day. Complicated, isn't it? When I had my first blow, it was just 2 wires and I used to touch them, start it and bring them apart. Here's my accelerator, that's another piece of it here. I'm just going to get the door to shut. Supposed to be for opal divining. And what happens with opal divining, if you're upstairs and there's no holes, nowhere to check, there's about 10% of the miners or 5% of the miners walk around like this with their wires, and when they cross over they go the opal there. It actually gets a bit more complicated than that, we won't go into it because they find that many things with these wires, it's not funny.
That's yours.
has been the place where they filmed many movies. Star Wars was one, and Mad Max was another one. How cool is this?
If you're on the road trip heading to the Red Centre, COOBER PEDY is definitely a must stop. We've had a pretty good fun time here. And if you want to do an Opal like underground tour, Old Tom's Mine was definitely the best one.
Was the best one.
It's a fun experience. Like we all got went underground, and you even look for your own opals and stuff like that. It's a really good time.
And with this was the experience in COOBER PEDY.